Hey there guys, welcome back to my blind playthrough of Dying Light 2, and you'll notice that there was quite a huge hiatus in between my previous part and this part. It's because I went and indulged in a lot of the open world activities available to me at the start of Dying Light 2. So I did numerous side missions. I went to various areas. I found a lot of inhibitors, and I did a tremendous amount of farming. And I do mean a tremendous amount of farming, because the farming aspect of this game, what the fuck have they done? Not only do you have to waste time building up combat and parkour XP through killing so many enemies and just traversing the rooftops and doing all these maneuvers, and also the XP gainage is so inconsistent in this game, and it has to be augmented by costumes and the like, because that's just part of the RPG nature of this game. That goofy RPG nature that they're wanting to go for, like, I don't know, like Skyrim, for instance, where somehow magically wearing clothing just allows you to gain a lot of XP. So you not only have to gain a lot of XP, but you have to find inhibitors. So you have to traverse the entire area in the hopes that the GRE key will indicate that there is an inhibitor nearby. And then you have to explore the area, and at times, you don't even have the stamina to go and explore these areas. Like, why on earth would they moderate your activities into the open world via the stupid stamina stat? That was never a thing in Dying Light 1. But for some reason, in this new day and age, everyone has to be high up on drugs in order to do the simplest of activities, even when they are a parkour expert. I mean, you will not believe the amount of farming I was doing. I mean, look at my level right here. So, these are the skills I currently have right now. So, this is all I have for the combat stats right now. My combat stat is up to 240 for health, and then this is how much I have. I have this much money. I didn't really get a lot of lockpicks. That's my immunity right now. So I'm at level 6 for health. I'm at level 2 for stamina, because I'm finding no use for any of the parkour abilities in this game so far, aside from the safe landing, or the active landing. And it's so counterintuitive to the very nature of this game. This is an open world game where exploration is supposed to be the key trait of this game, but they want to regulate everything to stamina. So you're taking away the player's choice and actually slotting into whatever the hell they want. With this kind of skill tree system, you're supposed to be giving the player the choice, but when you're forcing the player to indulge in stamina to do something that you could easily do in Dying Light 1, because for whatever reason, Aiden is so weak compared to Kyle Crane, and he can't do the simplest of actions without stamina, and you need a high enough stamina bar by upgrading this stat right here in order to let you do things, you're going against choice. And then again, these abilities are meaningless at the moment. I haven't seen a single parkour ability that I feel is very useful at the moment. Aside from fast climb, or active landing, or firm grip. All these other ones are just kind of redundant at the moment, and they probably won't even be necessary to the main story. They're probably more so necessary for the side activities, but that's really it. And the abilities are what make Dying Light such a fun game to play at times. But when you're having to lock behind certain fundamental abilities behind a stupid skill tree system, and building up enough XP and inhibitors just takes forever to do, you're turning the game into a tedious grind fest. This game seems to be more about grinding than with Dying Light 1. At least with Dying Light 1, I found a way to farm a lot of XP through killing volatiles in that one airdrop mission where it's permanently nighttime, and I even posted a video about it. But as of right now, I haven't even found the urge to do a farming video for Dying Light 2, because the only things you really need to note about farming are where the inhibitors are located, which ones are readily accessible to you at the beginning of the game, and how you're going to build up XP. And I've been learning a couple of things about the XP gainage on this game. It feels like you have to vary your attacks if you want to build up to like the maximum amount of XP you're allowed to get on a kill. But right now, there's just some inconsistencies involved with that, and I still don't understand how it works. And I haven't found a lot of urge to indulge in the crafting much. I've been playing around with my fists. I've just been farming resources, even though it doesn't seem like much. I mean, I found a lot of immunity boosters, but UV Shrooms not so much. I even did a couple of boss fights against something called a Revenant, which is part of a side activity called a GRE Anomaly, and they guard inhibitors. So they want you to sit through a tedious boss fight to get a fundamental currency that is crucial to unlocking Dying Light's true potential. Why would you favor Occam's Razor and try to favor the most convoluted explanation ever to achieve a simple outcome rather than using the simple explanation to get a simple outcome so that I can actually build up progress so that I can actually play your game? You make me sit through a shitty boss fight with the Revenants? I have it in my previous part of this blind playthrough, which I've just uploaded to YouTube. This game is just filled with so many questionable design choices right now, and I just don't feel like Aiden is as good as Kyle Crane. And even though he has access to abilities like the takedown immediately, some of the choices that they've made with certain designs, a lot of the abilities that you can use against the enemies are dependent upon their health threshold. They have to be at less than 50% of health to even do certain animations, like for instance the takedown animation. And also with other abilities like the smash, this reminds me of the drop attack from Dying Light 1, only the drop attack from Dying Light 1 is way better than this shitty move, because this move only works in stealth, and the detection on it is horrible, whereas in Dying Light 1, you jump over an enemy and you hold R2 when you have a melee weapon out, Crane will just teleport to that enemy and just immediately do the smash. And it was so helpful against the humans on that game because the humans were so broken in Dying Light 1 because they just didn't flinch correctly and they had way too much health and they just had all these capabilities that you just simply didn't have. So such abilities were necessary to balance it out. And the drop attack actually complemented other abilities like the vault. And you can get the vault as well, but I'm just wondering if these hurdles that they have you going through to even make the abilities viable to use, like for instance with what I've just described, with lowering the enemy's health to a certain degree, or with actually getting the detection down properly because the detection on these button-prompted moves is awful, like those are just serving as hurdles that just don't really make one skill complement another skill. There's just still a lot I need to learn about this game, but I'm not really finding the urge to do so because so far this game has been nothing but a grind. And also, you might have noticed in the previous part of this walkthrough, I edited out the cutscenes and I only included the parts where I'm talking, and also if I'm making a deliberate choice that might actually affect the story. I'm just going to be doing that with the cutscenes on this game from now on. No more sitting through boring cutscenes. I mean, as much as the story is kind of intriguing me, the gameplay is just not tethering me to the story that much. And it's the same problem that Dying Light 1 had, only I feel like it's worse in Dying Light 2. But yeah, that's all I really have to say right now. And we'll be starting Hakon's quest in a moment. So let's continue on from here. But yeah, these windmill activities as well, they're dependent upon stamina. There are so many moments where I'm trying to climb a windmill, but I just don't have the stamina for it. It's a barrier. It's an artificial barrier. If this was any other game, I'd be able to climb it. Like, you now have to regulate simple activities to a stat. It's so counterintuitive to the open world design of this game, and it really pisses me off. And finding inhibitors is painful enough. Finding inhibitors takes quite a long time to do. But then when you forcefully make the player slot into stamina to actually do simple activities that help make the world more fleshed out, that just doesn't sit right with me at all. Oh hey, this is the windmill I constantly use for my farming technique. So you might have seen a bit for what I've been doing with my farming, but this oak windmill is a pretty good area for actually farming resources during the night. So what I tend to do when I'm trying to farm for XP is I wait until it's nighttime. I'm inside of this windmill area. Let me actually show you where it is on the map, by the way. The menus are so laggy because they have to load all this stuff. See, it was lagging just then because it had trouble loading all this. And it had trouble loading all this, but the windmill's right over here. At this part of the map. But essentially, I found a couple of ways to take advantage of skills accessible to you at the beginning without the need for the upgrades, and this allowed me to gain access to other upgrades. And I've been using these upgrades mainly. I've been using the air kick, and I've also been using the head stomp. And the head stomp is not as good as the stomp from Dying Light 1, but it's still pretty good nonetheless. And the air kick is definitely my favorite fundamental move at the moment. But I'm finding no other utility for the other ones. But what I do here is this howler is always here, so I make noise by sprinting. He detects me, it starts a chase. And the way the chases work on this game is, you see the bar right there, the chase level 1 of 4? Well, if you let that bar build up, eventually you'll get to levels 2, 3, and 4, and on level 2 you get a nighttime bonus of ×3. Level 3 you'll get a nighttime bonus of 4, and then eventually with level 4 you'll get a nighttime bonus of 5. But this is what I've been doing with the stomp move. And let me actually show you what I was doing before I had access to certain abilities. So I noticed that when you head back to safe zones, the enemies have trouble getting into the safe zones because of the UV light, but also you oh, dang it, the chase ended. That's another thing as well. The enemies, sometimes they'll detect you very quickly, other times they'll lose you in a chase. Oh no, there's a bolter right there. I know that's a bolter right there because what else is it going to be on a rooftop? But bolters give you a lot of combat XP when you kill them. I should probably have... I have a weapon now. Okay. See? 224. You'll notice that my nighttime bonus wasn't much, which is likely due to the bonus I'm currently getting with the night right now. I assume at the moment you get like a fifth of whatever you get normally. Like, you see how right there, I think I got about 10 or 11 stamina, so I think 1/5 of that is what you're getting for the nighttime bonus. But anyway, let me actually show you what I was doing for farming. I had to change up the strategy a couple of times as I was getting new abilities. Well, let's hope this guy doesn't lose me so quickly. But at chase level 3 and level 4, volatiles will be coming after you, but they're more active in chase level 4 than in chase level 3. But the enemies that are part of these chases, they come out of specific spawn locations, and the thing is that the spawn locations are proximity based. So you notice how no enemies are spawning right now? Well, as soon as I go near this threshold right over here, the enemy chooses to spawn from the vent. At least on the rooftops specifically, the enemies spawn from vents whenever you're in a chase. So this is what I was doing when I was trying to use the stomp. So whenever the enemies are in some kind of active state where they're climbing, they're vulnerable to the stomp. But what I'm going to do right here is, this is what I was doing before I had access to the stomp. So I need this guy to come after me, but right now he's not doing it. He's being very slow about it. But he'll climb up here. Come on, what are you doing? He's not doing it. Okay, there we go. So he'll try to run in here, but he can't. So he's going to get flinched backwards. And if you get behind him, this will happen. So you'll be able to do the takedown because you're in a stealth status. Getting your positioning down is tough. Even when you are in a position where it looks good, you still don't get the prompt sometimes because the enemy awareness, they sometimes spot you very quickly. But you'll notice that when I'm repeatedly... Oh my god, why is the chase ending? It seems like at chase level 1, you gotta stay as close to the enemies as possible in order to avoid the possibility of them losing you. But again, this howler is always here, so this is a pretty good spot for farming. I'm sure there are other good locations as well. But I've actually figured out how the nighttime bonuses work. So those numbers at the top right of the screen with 45 and 116, they actually go into a cache. There's an XP cache where all that XP is stored during the night. And if you die, you'll lose all of your XP that is in that nighttime cache, basically, for your XP. So that's why you want to return to a safe zone immediately if you have a lot of XP in that cache. But see, I'm just going to lure him over here. He's not even coming though, but it's fine because he's lost me for a bit, so I'll be able to do the stealth takedown with impunity. The enemies can interrupt you during those animations, so when you have multiple enemies, I recommend stunning one of them using the air kick. The air kick is really good at stunning these enemies. Not very useful against the volatiles, obviously, because given the high-ranking nature of the volatiles and the fact that they have to be the most lethal enemy, they have to get all these properties that are pretty dumb. But you notice I think I got like 26 when I did the takedown, but this time it's not going to be 20... Oh, come on. Get off. So this time it shouldn't be 26. Let's see. Okay, that time it was 26, but this time it's not going to be 26. See, it's 13. So my number decreased because I was repeating the same exact move over and over again. And I've been experimenting with this when I'm doing the stomp technique, or I'm using the stomp to kill enemies. But I have discovered if you hit enemies a certain number of times and then you do the killing move, I think it increases your chances of not losing your XP. So instead of getting like 13, you'll be getting 26, which is the maximum I have right now for when I'm just first starting out the variation bonus. And let me show you my my outfits that I have right now. So these are the outfits I have. So you'll see right here, there's an increase to combat XP with this one, and there's an increase to combat XP as well. There's all these other stats as well as part of the gaming nature to this kind of outfit system, which I've never liked in these kind of games. How you have to wear specific outfits to get bonuses. But what I've been doing recently is I've been sitting on this ledge and just stomping the enemies when they jump. Sometimes they don't do that climbing animation though. Sometimes they'll just immediately do the full jump, and you'll have to kick them off or punch them during the animation. But that's also pretty effective, and I need to put this weapon away. Let me do that right now. There we go. So I have no weapons, so this shouldn't be a problem. Learning to play this game without the weapons is necessary for the Dying Light series. You see how I only got 6? It's because I've been using the stomp too much. Even though there are times where I do the stomp in mid-air, because it's a weird, like, clunky process with this game with the stomp, which makes it overpowered. But, I do it here, and I get 26. Because I first punched the guy, and then I did the stomp, which adds more variation, which is, it's like Devil May Cry, basically, where, you know, you had like a ranking system with Devil May Cry, and it penalized you if you were repeating the same move over and over again. So to avoid that penalty, you varied your move. So it's like that with this game. It's just really dumb that they would enforce that kind of penalty on you when XP is already hard to get in this game. And I don't even know if this game has microtransactions as well. If this game has microtransactions to complement the fact that getting XP on this game takes forever, and it's all done this way to make you avoid the slog by just paying to win. Like, that would make a lot of sense, but I don't think this game has microtransactions right now. You see that? I only got 13 XP because I've been using this move too much. But let's actually test this out real quick. And there's some shitty detection on the stomp. That was 26, because I varied it. That was 26 again, because I did a kick instead. Let me just try the normal stomp. And I should be able to restore the 26 XP. See? It did it then. But, like, this is something I've been testing out a lot with this game, to see how the XP works. That was only 13. So if I vary, I should be able to restore the 26. See, I did it just then. Sometimes, like, when I do it like that, I don't get XP. It's like the game classes the enemy as being in a fall. Like, he took fall damage before my stomp connected, which is very bullshit. But that's essentially what I've been doing. And it's a pretty useful way to farm XP. But obviously, when you don't have the stomp, you'll want to use the takedown technique, where you lure enemies back to the safe house, and then when they lose you, when you go into the UV light, then you can do the takedown. But I guess I'll show you how I deal with volatiles. It'll be some time before we get there, but you'll just want to make sure that you get into proximity with these spawn points to make the enemies spawn in, and you don't want to stay near the vents for too long, because multiple enemies will spawn in. You'll need to run away from the vents immediately when an enemy spawns, so that you can control the spawn. Oh, and also, that air kick just then, the enemies only get knocked back by the air kick if you hit them from the front. If they're facing you when you do the air kick, they will always get knocked back. And then from there, you can follow up with the stomp. Or you can follow up with the vault kick if you don't have access to the stomp right now. But to avoid any possibility of the chases being interrupted, like in case you want to keep your level high, you'll just want to lure enemies back to the safe house, so that you can then regenerate your immunity, and they're still looking for you. But these guys are currently running away, and I don't know why they're not trying to climb up to where I am. At least this guy is. So then I can do the takedown, but if this guy attacks me, I won't be able to finish the takedown animation. And if you get interrupted at any point in the takedown animation, the enemy will survive. Even when you do the neck-breaking animation, because the animation isn't completed, the enemies will survive the takedown if you get interrupted. Okay, we're at level 3, so volatiles should be spawning in right now. It varies a lot more on level 3 compared to level 4. On level 4, you get nothing but volatiles. Okay, that's not a volatile, and I know it's not a volatile because when volatiles spawn in from that air vent, you hear a louder slam, indicating that they're slamming the thing open because they're a bigger enemy. But look at all the loot here, by the way. And I just haven't found a use for money at all. Money's just superfluous in this game. That's a volatile. You hear the slam just then? You hear how it was louder? That means a volatile has spawned in. And volatiles are weird on this game. At times, they'll just run away from you for no reason. They're very passive on this game compared to now. But I always kick them off, and then I slam them. Because obviously, you kick them off the ledge, they'll fall, and then you can slam them in the head by just making them pause in midair. And unlike Dying Light 1, the volatiles actually flinch from the kick, which is really good design for this game. And this guy's dead. So you'll mainly get 100 XP from this guy, but we're at nighttime bonus 5. So with nighttime bonus 5, the amount of XP you get during the night is equal to the amount of XP you'd be getting normally. So I'd be getting like, oh shit, that's another thing as well, volatiles have a range attack. But you gotta pay attention to the startup frames of their roaring animation, because when they're roaring, it means they're going to charge you. But just don't let this guy get the drop on you, because they will kill you very quickly. Volatiles are so deadly on this game. Almost there. He's dead. So I believe I got 100 XP, but I also got 100 XP for my nighttime bonus, because I had nighttime bonus 5. So I'm guessing at nighttime bonus 5, it's 1-to-1 between the normal XP and the nighttime bonus XP. But yeah, this is a very powerful way to kill volatiles and earn a lot of XP. It's just going to be a problem when the penalty kicks in that I'm not varying my my method for killing these enemies. Because obviously I'm repeating the same method over and over again, so I'm only going to get like 53 XP, and then eventually like nothing. And it should be the case right over here. See, only 53 because of that penalty. But that's essentially what I've been doing for farming. This is the best possible place to farm at the moment, because, you know, like, you can control the spawn. And, you know, because there's a howler at a designated location, you can always restart the chase in case it fails. And there's a dedicated safe zone right over here. But I have skill points right now, so these should be combat skill points at the moment. Yeah, so let's purchase another skill. Let's get the stab. There we go. Because I'm wanting to try out the ledge takedown, but you need to have both of those stab abilities if you want to do the ledge takedown for whatever reason. Let's sell all valuables. Yeah, so that's the farming, but let's continue on with the main quest right now. I have to catch Hubert?
He's running away.
Nah, sounds like Hubie. Oh, wait a sec. I see him. Asshole's running to the northeast.
Yeah, always make sure you press circle before landing if you have the active landing skill. It is a very crucial ability.
Almost got him.
Shit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch him. Also, I find it rather odd that this game doesn't have any kind of scary music. Like, Dying Light 1 scary music, when volatiles were chasing you, really helped to, like, freshen the music palette. And it added a new level of tension to the game, but this game doesn't have any scary music, which is disappointing. That looks cool.
Hakon, he's not here.
Impossible. I saw him right there.
Impossible.
That little weasel must be hiding. Look around. Oh, wait, I see him. He's climbing. See that GRE building? He's climbing to the roof.
I just went inside this building. I went inside this building in one of my like off-camera moments. But this place requires a lot of stamina to actually get into it. You have to climb this part of the building. Oh, I should be regenerating my stamina right now. At least I have the fast climb ability, so I can at least climb up ledges faster. Which again should have been like a fundamental skill. You should not be locking off crucial open world activities. Like, it'd be one thing if they didn't give you access to these areas immediately, but saying you have access to these abilities, but then at the same time you don't have access to the abilities because you don't have the right amount of stamina is such a scummy message. It's like they're offering you a sweet and then they pull it away from you at the last second because they're that big of assholes. So, does this game have the same comedic fall negation system where you can jump from the highest place and land on top of a truck or a car and you'll survive? Let's see. You're kidding me! That does not make any sense at all, but I'm glad, because without an amortizer, where else was I supposed to fall? Like, I remember someone doing that antenna mission where you climb up that big antenna as part of the main story in Dying Light 1, and they just jumped down and fell on top of a van, and they survived. How on earth do car roofs cushion your fall? Why does this game have that kind of logic? Who cares? At least it's better than falling down mindlessly, because the game doesn't have a dedicated parkour down system. I know this building. I definitely remember this building. This was where I was getting an inhibitor, and there were a bunch of virals in this area. Need my flashlight out. Also, one thing I'm glad that they fixed with this game compared to Dying Light 1 is that the flashlight, it doesn't dim after a certain amount of time, so you don't have to waste time turning it off and then turning it back on. They've removed that, which is good. So I think you climb this. Yeah, see, there's the inhibitor case.
Indeed.
I'll give.
That's a lot of.
Of course it is.
I have plenty of money! Money's so useless in this game! I would have paid this kid the 500. That would have been fine. And also, why are people embracing currency in a post-apocalyptic world? What good is money gonna do if the major foundations of society have already fractured at this point? I'll never understand this about most of these post-apocalyptic games, when they have this kind of currency system. And how are these kids even there when they were infected in there earlier? But this is one of the areas where I fought a Revenant to gain access to this. Look, it's a simple animation of opening it, but you have to kill an enemy to somehow open this up when the enemy is completely independent of the actual locking system of this door, which is unlocked. So I had to waste time killing a throwaway enemy to gain access to a fucking inhibitor. And it looks like the stuff inside these chests repopulates, which is good. Alright, let's see what we have here.
They think anarchy is the key to building a new world.
Well, there is plenty of anarchy these days.
Carl is a faux pious hustler who brainwashes others with slick speeches.
Where have I heard this
He
kind of
says
talk
everyone's
before?
Equal, but it's bullshit. You can't be a leader and an equal at the same time.
You can't be a leader and an equal at the same time. Where'd you get that idea from? The flawed democratic system or the bureaucratic autocracy? I don't know. That's bullshit. You can't be a leader and an equal at the same time. What are they trying to do? Like, make this an homage to Assassin's Creed somehow? Trying to put the assassins in an awkward position with this kind of statement? Oh.
Ada wants me to find Lucas's murderer. Only then.
Why are you here? I thought you weren't allowed into Peacekeeper headquarters. So I was spoiled a bit because I went out and looked up the ending on Wikipedia and the entire story. I mean, I only saw the ending, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have already seen what the story is. So I think there's something about a missile at the end of the game, and you have to choose between either destroying the city or letting it fall into one of the faction's hands or something. I mean, not that I really care, because you know, it oddly mirrors the Dying Light, the following DLC ending, where Kyle Crane either nukes Haran, or he kills the mother and becomes a volatile himself. but Haran still perishes either way. So it sounds very similar to that whole idea with the ending of Dying Light 2 so far, if it's based on a missile.
He's that outsider.
I've been inside this area how many
He's
times?
from outside the wall. I don't know what brings you here.
What a nice change from wanting to hang me.
I was just inside of here! I just talked with so many people inside this bazaar, and they're acting like they haven't seen me before.
Created a civilization that turned out to be a colossus on. Who would have thought? A pilgrim.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
I just
Despite
talked.
your
What
best
the hell is going on?
Clear to me you're holding.
I was inside of here. You guys talked with me.
You would understand. We are responsible for the safety of. I hope you could.
Bad. And getting worse. Settlements are shrinking in size and...
Doesn't surprise me, son. And this is why we.
Not really. But, why don't you tell me more about your people?
We are called the people of the bazaar, simply because of where we live. But who we are truly are free people. Free from lies, free from money, free from religion, wars, politics, and the dark cloud that
Oh, wow.
blanketed the
Just like what a lot of cults
That
want.
sounds great. Too good to be true, in fact.
Too good to be true, yeah.
We have our challenges. Water is scarce.
But it is a great idea, though.
But with courage and patience, we will.
Well, you seem almost thankful for the collapse of civilization.
I would
It
be.
was because it was inevitable.
Because if you ask me, guys, society is very flawed in this day and age. Seems like we put in all these systems that just go against the whole idea of living in society.
It would be a crime. We want to create a new order based on social bonds, on family and community. A society where people support each other and adhere to justice.
You can only do that with very little people, dude.
Police, military or false authorities.
You can't
shoot those they're
have
meant to
a
protect.
society like
We have a place
yours
for everyone. But let's get back
without
to
setting a
the
limit on the amount of
stories.
people living in that society.
Is gossip all you want from me, Carl?
No. But you came from outside, and you're walking around my flock. So, to set things straight.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this metaphor.
Ah, yes.
I need to ask...
Oh.
But let's say a man's death should be another man's concern. Isn't that what separates us from the infected?
I guess you have a point.
I do like the way
Lucas'
Aiden
death
has
is
colorful
our
dialogue.
concern as well. But mainly because we are the prime suspects. I have never hidden my views on the peacekeepers. The old world.
Like, this guy definitely has charisma. This guy definitely knows how to
power-hungry fascists.
phrase his words in a way
Building
to
a
be
new
very
world based on the
colorful
old
and not
values
so
would not be
direct.
wise.
And it sounds like he knows what he's
Of
thinking.
course, according to
I swear to God, it's like they're trying to put in some ideologies from the Assassins and Templars and put it into these two factions right now.
Sophie, can we talk?
But I don't think it's exactly that.
Don't hurt him, Herman. Let him talk.
Okay, that was very sudden.
Talk, if so.
Why am I talking to the people of the bazaar again? I just talked with the people of the bazaar, now I have to do it again.
Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Does it make a Under...
Alright, another side mission that I probably will just forget about.
Can I help you?
I hope...
I'm sorry, Harvey.
I see.
Wait. A little sweetness for the sourpuss.
Do you off...
Honey and wisdom, both my gifts to you. So much darkness in the world, why not brighten it with a smile?
Mom, don't you know who that is? He's a pilgrim.
He's no criminal, Benny. Look at him. In his eyes. Do you see what I see? We must judge people with our own hearts and eyes, and not based on rumor or innuendo.
That would have ran a little differently in today's society. Because that's how we judge a lot of people nowadays, with rumor and innuendo.
Now, you know anything about...
well, that kind.
That could work.
I could pay you right now! Why not just run your bill, and I'll pay for it. Simple.
Leave your CV with my secretary and we'll get back to you.
Come on, don't fuck with me.
So who else is offering me a job? I'm just surprised that they're making you do this kind of quest format again, where you have to talk to people. Okay, so I'm inside the quest area. Oh, no, I'm not inside the quest area. Why is this detection so poor? Okay, looks like I found another one.
Hey, mister! Seen a dog anywhere? Pretty big,
Thick black
Haven't I
hair,
seen this
kisses balls
model
like
before
Chloe,
with
but
this
he's
kid?
Pretty old, actually.
Back where that
No,
girl
I
was?
haven't seen any dogs around
Or am I
here.
thinking of something
Benny's a
else?
stray,
I feel like I've
but he
seen this
shows
guy
up here
before.
every day to- Dogs have 112 more bones than people, and a higher body temperature. And it's not true they only see in black and white. I have 2 toy balls, and Buddy always fetches the blue one. It's his
Yeah, I believe that
favorite.
is true. That is a bit of a rumor. Okay. It looks like we're gonna have to play this game again. Finding out who is gonna offer me a job. Really? Jump, you idiot! Get up! What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Okay, so we'll finally see what this guy's invention will do, which is going to suck. I bet.
Everything all right?
No, it's grilled.
Of course.
Grilled.
I knew that was gonna
Such an
happen.
idiot.
Just like Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
What happened?
I must have overcalculated the voltage.
See, he's useless.
I'm sorry. I don't know how I could get it so wrong.
I told you it would be a waste of time.
Why? It has big, huge
You're saying it has potential.
potential. Yes. It could be an effective
Yeah,
weapon.
just like this kind of format where it seems like you're leading towards something interesting, and then the guy turns out to be an idiot, and then this kind of like non sequiturous route happens. It's going to happen for every single one of these side quests, just like with Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
There's dinner for everyone. And
Craftmaster?
we'll talk later.
I can't thank you enough. If it's not strike,
Sure, thanks.
no way.
Well, at least I got a weapons modification system. Whatever. I knew it was going to be that. I knew it was going to be very comedic. It was going to be non-sequitur, if that's even a word. Like it follows a very strange sort of pattern to it that just leads to a very illogical conclusion. And then it just leads to more comic relief. It's just like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's exactly like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is why those side stories, which weren't even side missions, they were just crowd events, I believe, or citizen events or whatever. They were always something stupid. Like, oh, you had to stand in front of this door while this woman that's behind the door is making you act as bodyguard because she's delusional. And then you had that one woman where you gave snake eggs and it just created a big fart gas, whatever. At least, like, the one intriguing side story event in Assassin's Creed Valhalla that took place was at the beginning of the game, where you were just playing with those kids, and it turns out they were with the enemies, but you didn't tell them that. That was kinda interesting, but the rest were just comic relief, non-sequitur events, and it was just pure stupidity that takes you out of the seriousness of the world, and it's just like what happened here. Man, I don't really know what to think of this in all honesty. This was a mediocre side mission at best.